For the last video this semester, I'm going to show you one more exercise or methodology that is pretty commonly used, very powerful, very useful, and something that we'll be pursuing more in the upcoming semester, spring semester. What I'm going to do is create some original data here, and I'm going to create it using a process called Headsup Digitizing. And in order to do heads-up digitizing, you do need to have some GIS or some data set that will be viewable in GIS to serve as the source or the base for the heads-up digitizing. What I'd like to do in this case is create a new polygon shapefile of swimming pools. And this particular neighborhood here seems to be quite rich in swimming pools. So why don't we go ahead and create the, and I'll show you how to create a brand new data set. And once you have a GIS data set, you can do anything with it, such as compute the total areas or the total number of swimming pools, or find how close each swimming pool is to a road, or any other geographic question. But first we have to create that data set. We're going to do that by a visual interpretation. Something that a computer can't do really is to interpret what something like this air photo base map actually means. You can look at it and instantly realize that these are roads, these are sidewalks, swimming pools, houses, driveways, and cars. That's very familiar to you, and you do that automatically. It's very difficult for an automated system or a computer system to do that. So we still have to go through this process of heads-up digitizing, whereby we interpret and then capture our interpretation into another file. So how do you do a heads-up digitize? First thing you need is, as I said, a source. And in this case, I'm just using the standard base map, the standard air photo base map that comes with ArcGIS. And it's pretty current. I can almost guess what time of the year it is. You can see swimming pool covers. Trees don't have any vegetation on them, but the lawns are starting to green up. So this might probably be the end of April. Is a very common time of year for air photos to be taken in this part of the country. So anyway, what do we need to do? Once we have a base or a source, we need a shapefile that's going to be the destination of all the new polygons we create. Here's how you create a new shapefile. We're going to use a tool called the Arc Catalog, which is a file management sub-program of ArcGIS, which we haven't used before, but it'll look familiar when you see it. I click on it, and basically it looks like Windows Explorer, Windows File Explorer, and here it all is. What we need to decide on first is where we would like this file to go. So I'm going to just track down. I'm going to need to use my Connect to Folder. I'm going to track down my desktop, and then I'm going to track down my folder that I use for this course and say OK. And there it is. And I can see that I already have a bunch of other data sets in here. So I think first thing I'd like to do, I might as well do this right now, is to ask for a new folder inside of my Essentials of GIS folder. We'll call it Pools. Haven't created a data set yet, just created a folder. And there's Pools. Now what I can do, and this is something new that's very different than what you've seen, is I can right-click on this folder and ask for a new shapefile. So we're going to create a brand new shapefile, and it doesn't have a name or anything. We'll call it Pools-Greece. And I have to note that we don't know what type it is yet, or as the computer doesn't know. We'll tell it we'd like it to be a polygon. It's a good thing. A very smart step now is to give it a coordinate system. That's always a great kindness to anybody down the road who might use this data set. It has an unknown coordinate system. So I'm going to select Edit, which means choose a coordinate system. I'm going to select, and probably the most convenient, universal, and applicable georeferencing system for the type of work we do as environmental and earth scientists is a projected coordinate system that is in the UTM type of systems, and we're going to use the NAD 83. That's the datum, and we live in zone 18. And nobody really understands, well, maybe a few people do, what all of those terms and everything mean. So you just follow the directions. There's no exercise to go with this demo. However, I might pull a short general quiz question on it for the end of the semester. So we'll just say zone 18N and say add. And now, oh, and I need another OK. And none of this stuff needs to be changed. And another OK. And now there is a new shapefile created. And it's going to give me a warning that says that the new shapefile I created does not have the same coordinate system as the base map. But that's really OK. So we'll say OK. And it was very generous in that it automatically loaded that file for me. So now I'm looking. I don't see anything. And the reason is it's an empty shapefile. I just created it, but I haven't put anything in it yet. That's why there's no yellowish things showing up yet. And if I go to the attribute table, I see that it has no attributes. So what I have here is an empty file that's ready to have polygons added to it. And the way that's done is by using the editor toolbar. So this is the editor toolbar, and did I just turn it? Oh, sorry, I already had it turned on. This is the button that turns on the editor toolbar, a pencil with 4 dots, and there's the toolbar. And now all I need to do is say start editing from that toolbar. And it's not happy that I have I can select that one. It's not happy that I have a mismatch in the coordinate systems, but that's probably going to be okay. If I was doing this as for professional quality stuff, I'd avoid all possible errors and distortions by changing that. But I'm just trying to show you the general principle here. So I say continue, and it says that I'm editing my pools of grease data set, and I need to click on that again, and I need to tell it what tool I want to use. I would be almost tempted to say circles, because many of these swimming pools are circular, and you can get a better representation and a quicker editing. But I did manage to find a swimming pool in this data set that's exotically shaped. So I'm just going to go ahead and say use my general purpose polygon tool right there. And now I have a draw tool here, and I can go ahead and start to trace around a pool. And when I'm done, when I think I've completed it, I double click and I've created a pool. And I did it fast. I didn't zoom in, so I ended up with a kind of a crappy looking pool. But I'm going to go ahead now and show you one more example. I can zoom in, then I can return to the polygon editor, and I can do a better job of drawing this pool. And around we go, and double click, we'll close it, and now I have another pool. And that's all one needs to do in order to create these features. So whoops, I have by accident created another one. I can hit the delete key and it'll delete the most recent or selected polygon that I created. So now I can stop. I can say stop editing on the editor toolbar, save my edits, yes, and now I have a brand new data set. And I can zoom to layer, and I can see the two, I guess I must, oh, there they are. There's one, and there's the other one, which does look pretty bad. And now it's a fully functional shapefile. I can change the color if I want. A rose-colored swimming pool. I can turn off the base layer, and we see that I've actually created new polygon shapefile. And an awful lot of GIS work is about finding a good source and interpreting it and creating some useful new shapefiles. And usually any project is going to be able to use a significant number of existing standard data sets plus one or two specialized data sets that have to be created to complete that particular project. So that's it for this lesson, and I'll hit the